the founder of the Last Reformation, a worldwide movement which seeks to return Christianity to the Book of Acts. He also began the Jesus Center in Denmark, which trained disciples from 30 nations to spread this message around the world. But Torben and his family fled Denmark this year like refugees fleeing a war zone, leaving with only what they could carry in 8 suitcases. The attacks against the ministry began in 2016, when the Jesus Center was investigated by 6 different Danish government agencies.
So looking back, things kind of started out like this. Welcoming, arms open, with love. Then it moved from this to this. With a bit of propaganda thrown in that led to something like this.
Norway's North Sea coast, a new start for those made homeless by war. It's quite a change from the life many left behind, especially when it comes to more liberal societies like this one. On New Year's Eve in Germany, as many as 1,000 women were attacked by groups of men, many of whom were reported to be migrants. This provoked a debate. What happens to young migrant men once they make it to Europe? Can they fit in? And are they really a danger to women?
This is Haugesund in western Norway. Like many places across Europe, it's taken its fair share of asylum seekers, but the Norwegians are doing things a little differently. They offer refugees what they call cultural coding classes.
Cultural coding classes? Well, let's find out what that is.
Basically, classes teaching men how to better treat women.
All the while, this was going on in the Netherlands. Followed by this. Meanwhile, what was going on in Europe is being ignored in America. So this is the result. Meanwhile, Amnesty International puts out a wonderful video for everyone to ignore. But wait, did anyone stop to ask why the rapes have increased? Could it be that it's in correlation with the immigration rate increase? I wonder. And again. Now here's a graph of Sweden reported offenses per 100,000 between 1950 and 2014. Pay attention from 2010 to 2014. Here's a graph of asylum seekers in Sweden at the same time. Pay attention to 2010-2014. See the similarity in crime versus immigration. Now pay attention to this headline, the Show of Faith, the Ashura festival, sees children left covered in blood as devout Muslims use knives to slice their heads open. There's not a picture here of the fathers taking their young children as young as 3 and 4 years old, doing the same thing for the Ashura. This is their tradition. Now that was beautiful, wasn't it? It just kind of makes you feel bad if you want to vet any type of immigrants and make sure that they're not criminals, that they're safe, that they won't harm any of you or your family members, right? Or if you want to question the system to ensure the safety of the people in our own country. It makes you feel bad, doesn't it?
Reaction is Lieutenant Brian McGregor with the Kenner, Louisiana Police Department. He's investigating the attempted kidnapping incident involving an illegal alien with a machete at that Walmart that we just told you about. And in Alabama, Sandy Best. She's the sister of Amy Hawkins, who we just told you was allegedly killed by an illegal immigrant, Jose Luis Alonso de Leon, as she was cycling.
And honestly, I'm not against immigration. I'm an international person myself, but I do feel that everyone needs to come in legally. Now, I did not mean for this to be a political video. So what does this have to do with the person that is seeking asylum in America today from Denmark? Just on a side note, I decided to Google search or YouTube search white conservatives, and this is what came up. Now read this. Black, LGBTQ, liberal, on and on. Black conservatives. Anything white conservative in here? Nothing at all. Here's another search for white conservatives. See how they're making white conservatives? Now I just want to explain something here. It's called melding the minds. Melding the minds, and where's that going to lead to? What about what's going on in Denmark with the Christian pastor and the harassment that he had to take? And he felt like he was not safe to live there anymore with his family, and he had to move. And he's coming to this country hoping for a better place.
Every one of you out there, my friends and people we know, I am very nervous but also excited at the same time to do this video. This is a very, very special video. I will now say it as it is for the first time, that we are in America, as some of you know, but we are seeking asylum. And that is not a small thing, to seek asylum because of religious and political persecution and other persecution. And I'm actually one of the first one from Europe. Sad to say, I don't think I'm the last one, but I'm one of the first one from Europe who are seeking asylum in America. So our case is very, very special, and the last half year have been very, very special. I have never in my whole life imagined I should experience anything like we have done the last year. I'll just show a picture here of my case. You can see there's a lot of paper. I can also put it in where you can see it, and this is copies sent to different places. So this is my case, my asylum case. And it's not a small decision to leave your country and go to another place to seek asylum. And I want to, in this video, tell in more detail what had actually happened. And what I'm going to say now is something I've never shared public before. And I'm actually a little worried, nervous to share this video, but I want you to know my heart. I want you to know what we are going through. I want you to understand what is happening in Europe right now, because I don't think I'm maybe the first one who was seeking asylum in America, but I am really not the last one who's going to do it. And I also have a message for people who live in America.
Under the guise of combating discrimination, a rogue government body in Virginia is brazenly persecuting and discriminating against a Christian real estate agent. Her supposed crime, using the phrase "Jesus love you" in her email signature, featuring the John 3:16 Bible verse on her website. So what's going to happen? Like this person that had to seek asylum in America because he didn't want to send his children to public school. What's going to happen when we don't vaccinate our children, or we want to homeschool our own children? This is today, September 15th, 2019. 5 things to know about California's new vaccine law. Doctors will no longer be the final authority on medical exemptions and could be investigated if they write too many. Opponents say physicians may now be afraid to provide waivers, even for kids who need them. California has a new vaccination law on the books, cracks down on inappropriate use of medical exceptions that allow kids to skip some or all vaccines and still enter school. It gives power over the exemption process to public health officials and will create a vaccination database of all children with medical dispensation. Supporters of the law are pleased that doctors will no longer be the final authority on medical exemptions and can be investigated if they write too many. The more children who get vaccines, the safer the schools will be for all kids. Okay, I'm not really trying to take you down the rabbit hole here, but I decided to look at what's inside vaccines. It used to be a year ago I could easily search the pros and cons. Well, here's another YouTube search: all pro vaccines and propaganda. Okay. And it's all, I've clicked on quite a few of these, looked at them. They're all pro vaccine, and it keeps going and going and going and going, 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 going. It's like clickbait going. And you can't find the answer from anyone. And a lot of these are all recently. Well, this one's older, but pretty much the past year they've been really going. Sorry, I'm just going and going. It doesn't stop. Just want to show you that. Now I'm going to dig for the real information. So you do see the picture here? All of that leads to this, and then to this. Be ready. It's coming, folks. It's coming.